Welcome back. It is Wednesday, January 17th in the NBA. My four best bets are on the way. Let's recap yesterday, a 1-2 day, but should have been a winning day. Let's talk about it. Our winner of the day, Bradley Beal's under in PRAs. Pretty sweat-free as the Suns ended up coming back to beat the Kings, but still Beal went under. We had SGA's over in points. He just didn't have a great shooting game. And then the Joel Embiid same-game parlay is just an agonizing loss. Another SGP where I feel like got a little bit too cute. Should have just taken his points plus assists or his PRA line. Those easily cashed, but he did not get the 10 rebounds we needed. Just frustrating. I know it's been a frustrating run the last few days, and really the last few weeks have been very up and down, a little bit more down than up than we would like. I can't make excuses. I got to be better, and I know I will be better. We're going to have a hot streak. We're going to need a little luck to get it done, but I really do feel like a hot streak is on the way. Let's hopefully enter the All-Star break, which is in a few weeks, with hopefully a hot streak. And we're going to just dive into the picks today. I'm not going to promote anything. Let's dive into the picks, go 4-0, and let's dominate. The first pick is going to be one that I imagine you guys don't love. It is a guy that's on my shirt, but his shirt is in a former uniform. It's Fred VanVleet. I like his over 15.5 points, minus 110 on BetMGM. Now, honestly, if I was not in a cold streak right now, this is my best bet of the day. This would be a 2-unit play. Heck, even more, because I really think VanVleet's going to come out here and be pretty aggressive. And VanVleet made me put my foot in my mouth just a few days ago on Monday when I took his over in points, and he made me look like an idiot. He went out there, shot 5 times, scored 8 points. Now, that makes it back-to-back games, not only where the Rockets have lost, but also where he shot 6 or less times. Now, obviously, I'm not the one that goes out there and shoots for VanVleet. I can only project what he's going to do. However, this is a game they need him to be aggressive in. I mean, you think about the game on the road in Madison Square Garden, taking on the Knicks. The Knicks, pretty good defensive team. They're going to have a tough job, or they're going to have, Şengün, who's going to be defended by Isaiah Hartenstein and will be converged on anytime he drives. They're also going to have Jalen Green, probably gets OG Anunoby, but either way, Jalen Green has sucked on the road, and they're going to need VanVleet to score here. And I just would be surprised if VanVleet goes out there a third straight game and doesn't shoot the ball. Now, if he goes out there and shoots 3 for 15 tonight, I won't even be mad, but I think he's going to be aggressive, and he's done and played really aggressive against the Knicks in the past. Here's his last 5 games versus New York. 35, 28, 28, 33, and 28 points. Obviously, he hit the over in all those games, but he's also hit the over in 10 straight versus the Knicks. Now, obviously, all of those came as a member of the Raptors. Obviously, he's on the Rockets now, and this is a different team, different scenario, different, lineups. But at the end of the day, this has been a matchup that VanVleet, and number one, has woken up for. He's like, all right, I'm in Madison Square Garden, I'm going to play well. Number two, just been a matchup he's played aggressive, and I think they need him to do that tonight. Now, obviously, like I said, I can't control if VanVleet wants to shoot or not, but coming off 2 straight losses, I'd be surprised if he didn't. And he's the guy, averaging 17.1 points per game. He's over this line in 21 of 38 games. That's 55% of the time. On the road, he's been a little bit better, averaging 17.6 points per game compared to like 16 point something at home. And you look at him, when he shoots the ball, he goes over. He's over this line in 20 of 29 games, 69% of the time when he shoots 10 or more times. Obviously, 10 is not a very high number to shoot. You might look at the last few games and be like, ooh, 10 shots from VanVleet. Asking for a lot. However, I still do think this is a guy that we know VanVleet is getting paid a lot of money, and I just think he shoots more tonight. Look at this season. You just look at games when he doesn't shoot the ball. This season, VanVleet, he has 3 streaks where he went, he has 3. Actually, let me take a step back. This season, VanVleet has yet to take 3 straight games with less than 10 shots. So typically when he goes 1 or 2 games not shooting the ball, he comes out and shoots the ball. That's not a surprise. It's VanVleet. Normally, these guys shooting more than 10 times a night. However, he has had 3 streaks this season with two straight games with less than 10 shots. The third streak was this most recent last 2 games. And the previous 2 streaks, that next third game after 2 games, you shoot the ball, 15 and 13 field goal attempts. Like I said, I can't guarantee VanVleet shoots the ball tonight, but that's why I'm on him. I really think this is a game he has to be aggressive in. He could get OG Anunoby on him, and sure, that could happen. However, he's faced OG Anunoby a ton. These are 2 guys that had to face off in practice for several years. So I'm not saying he knows how to beat OG Anunoby, but he's not afraid of OG, and I'm certainly confident that he goes out there and shoots. 2 losses in a row, going up against the Knicks at home. Knicks have been a pretty good home team. I just think VanVleet's going to be aggressive. If he makes me lose money again, whatever. That's why I'm only playing it for 1 unit, but he is my best bet of the day. Fred VanVleet over 15.5 points, my most confident one. You better shoot the dang ball. I don't care if you go 1 for 30. Shoot the ball. That's all we're asking for. Give us an opportunity, and I certainly think he does that. Give me his over 15.5 points. I'll take the 2-point discount after the last game. Now, my second pick and third pick will be an under. Yesterday, our under was the only pick that hit, and I really like today's under. Another great sell high for this guy. It's Lauri Markkanen of the Utah Jazz, under 26.5 points, minus 105 on DraftKings. Now, I would take this at 25.5. Personally, I think the line should be about 24.5 for Markkanen going forward, 26.5 tad too high. Now, like I said, great sell high here for Markkanen, who's coming off a few games where he's played really well. Now, let's just talk about last game. Markkanen, 10 for 15 from the field, shot 66%. 10 for 10 from the free throw line. And he scored 32 points. Now you look at his last few games, 50% or better from the field, 3 straight. He scored 22, 29, and 32 points in those games. Now you look at him on the year, though, he's averaging 24 points per game and is under this line in 22 of 32 games. Now, obviously, 22 of 32, very good hit rate. Did have some games where he was on a minutes restriction in there. However, I don't think, number one, he's going to continue to shoot as efficiently as he has been. I mean, shooting 60%, sure. If he shoots over 60%, he's going to go over. But number two, I just don't like the matchup for him a ton. I mean, you're checking on the Warriors. Now, the Warriors, if you look at them, coming in here with a lot of motivation to get a win. Number one, they just lost last game to the Grizzlies, and you can't afford losing games to the Grizzlies. That's just a slap on the wrist. That's just, you can't do that. And number two, they gave up a lot of points in that game, and they got to try harder defensively. And I think the Warriors, if they are going to try hard defensively, it's going to be to try to take Lowry Markkanen away. And they have the wing defenders to do it. You think about the guys that are going to be out there: Wiggins, Draymond, and Jonathan Kuminga. Those are 3 good wing defenders, all going to be able to defend Markkanen. I mean, sure, he's taller than them, but they'll be able to move their feet with him, keep him off the free throw line, and contest his shots. And if they do that, they'll be able to do that for all 48 minutes. I like our chances there, because you look at this Warriors team also, you look at them last few games. I mean, 5th fewest free throw attempts allowed, and that includes last game when they gave up 40 free throw attempts. That's just the last 10 games. And also, you just look at Markkanen, his last 2 versus them, 24 and 29 points. Now, he made 5 and 7 3-pointers in those 2 games. That's unsustainable, and he shot 17 and 22 times. Really, Markkanen has not been shooting a ton of times. I mean, sure, he could go out there and shoot 20 times tonight, but the field goal attempts haven't really been there for him. It's just that he's been super efficient with it. But with Sexton and Clarkson, probably having better matchups than Markkanen, I like them to defer to those 2 guys. I just think this is a little bit too high for Markkanen. I think he's a really good player. If he scores 27, I'll give him the tip of the cap, but I really think this line's too high for him. There's a reason his line's been in the 22.5 to 24.5 range. After a few good games, they bumped it up all the way up to 26.5. I think this is a little bit too high for Markkanen. I think he's a really good player, like I said, really talented. I think this line's a little bit too high for him. He could score 25 points, have a really good game, still go under this line. Just think this one's a tad too high. So Lowry Markkanen, my second play of the day, under 26.5 points. Now, my third play, if you didn't like the first and the second, very good chance you hate the third, because it's Donovan Mitchell under 47.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 115 points, but that's PRAs that you see on the screen. I would play this at 46.5 as well. Now, if you look at the matchup, you'd say, hey, Austin, he's taking on the Bucks, and if you've been watching the videos for a while, which I certainly do appreciate you, if this is not your first video, I've talked several times over and over again. You take your guards against the Bucks. However, we have made it 35, 40 games into the season. The Bucks are onto those kind of things. They know that, and they have baked that into this line where they're like, all right, you're going to take a guard against the Bucks. You're going to pay a high premium for it. And that's what you're paying with Donovan Mitchell today at 47.5 PRAs. I mean, you look at Giannis's line. His is, 51.5? He's nearly getting a Giannis-like line against this, Giannis. I mean, this line is too high. And I don't care how good Donovan Mitchell is, 47.5 PRAs is steep for him. Now, you look at the Cavaliers, who have played their last 9 games without Garland and Mobley. In those games, you've seen Donovan Mitchell average 29 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, and a little over 7 assists per game. Good for 41 PRAs. His line's 47.5. In those games, 38, 44, 49, 40, 27, 32, 28, 63, and 44 PRAs going under in 7 of 9. Sure, Donovan Mitchell can go over today. That would not surprise me. I mean, he could. He's Donovan Mitchell. He's one of the best players in the NBA. However, we have to trust our data here and say this line's just too high for Donovan Mitchell. I mean, sure, you can look at the last game against Milwaukee. Did he go over? Yes, he had 34 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, good for 49 PRAs. He shot 61% from the field. If Donovan Mitchell shoots 61% tonight, sure, he's going to go over. But what are the chances he shoots 60%? Probably not that high. He doesn't do that all too often. And what are the chances he grabs a bunch of rebounds, he gets a bunch of assists? A lot of things could go wrong for Donovan Mitchell tonight. And we only really need one thing to go wrong. If he just doesn't grab a lot of rebounds, doesn't get a lot of assists, or heck, he doesn't even shoot well tonight, or heck, this is even a blowout, which certainly could happen. The Cavs against the Bucks could come out here and smoke him. That could happen. There's just too many ways where I see Donovan Mitchell going under. The last game when he went over against Milwaukee, he needed everything to go right. Not only did he have to shoot really well from the field, 60%. Karis LeVert sucked. He had Max Strus sucked. Jared Allen was the only one that really showed up on his team in that game. And he needed a bunch of rebounds, which isn't guaranteed. And he needed 9 assists. That's not guaranteed either. His other teammates making shots. And basically all those assists were to Jared Allen. I just think at the end of the day, I'll take this Mitchell under, and I'll live with it. Sure, it's a good matchup. You look at it, Bucks, Cards against the Bucks. Yeah, we took his over last time he faced the Bucks, but his line was much, much lower in that game than it is today. And I think his points line was like 29.5 in that game. Probably his PRA line was in the low 40s. Now you're giving me a 47.5 PRA line. Donovan Mitchell goes off for 50 PRAs. Fine, I'll live with it, but I just think this line's way too high. Give me a Donovan Mitchell under in PRAs. I know a lot of people won't like it, but look, you don't have to take my picks just because I'm giving them out. I'm just trusting my research, trusting my data, going Donovan Mitchell under 47.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And my fourth and final play of the day to wrap up the 4-0 sweep, because we're sweeping today. Jonas Valanciunas of the New Orleans Pelicans over for 22.5 points plus rebounds, minus 115 on Caesars. Now, personally, I anticipate this line to go up to 23.5. And if that is what happens, take his PRA line. Now, I know there are going to be people out there that are like, Austin, I'm on FanDuel and they don't offer a PRA line. Yeah, I know. That's why I always say, hey, try to get a couple different bucks, because FanDuel notoriously doesn't give PRA lines for big men, because they know, hey, if they're giving me a 23.5 points rebounds line or a 24.5 PRA line, you probably want the PRAs, because what are the chances Valanciunas can't get you at least one assist? Heck, give me maybe 2 or 3. That's just FanDuel trying to, conserve and risk manage there. But I really think this is a good spot to back Valanciunas. Now, obviously, Valanciunas hasn't played a ton over the last, 10 games, when Larry Nance Jr. returned. We've still seen over the last, 8 games with Larry Nance Jr. active, he has averaged 12.6 points per game and 9.4 rebounds per game. Good for 22 points plus rebounds. Obviously, we need 23, 24 today if the line moves up. Now, in those games, though, he has had 23, 11, 24, 27, 30, 23, 26, and 12 PRs, going over in 6 of 8. So even with some limited minutes, still going over. And we've seen, Valanciunas is actually coming off a pretty bad game. 6 points, 6 rebounds, barely played in the second half, had some foul trouble, just didn't play well. Let's be honest. Call spade a spade. He didn't play well. He was a minus 22 plus minus in 19 minutes. Sure. If you don't play well and your unit doesn't play well, you're getting taken out. However, I anticipate he plays better here. And this is also about the best matchup he can possibly get against the Hornets. Now, this season, the Hornets, most points per game, second most rebounds per game to centers. We know that. You take your PR versus centers versus Hornets, it's a money glitch. Last 2 seasons, Valanciunas has played 2 games against the Hornets where Larry Nance Jr. was active. In those games, 39 and 47 points plus rebounds in 29 and 34 minutes. Now, if he plays 34 minutes tonight, sure, he's going to easily clear it, my guess. But he also was playing a lot of minutes because he played really well against this team. This is a team, if you have a big man, you'll just use and abuse him. But Jonas, not only that, he's over this line in 11 of his last 12 versus the Hornets. His only miss, he ended with 18 points plus rebounds on 4 of 12 shooting. And he's played less than 30 minutes in basically all those games. So it's not like he was relying on high volume to get it there. I just think this is too good of a matchup. If we can get 20 to 25 minutes, which is what Valanciunas typically plays, he will clear this line. That is what the Hornets just don't defend the paint, and I think they're going to play through him a little bit more today. Like I said, only 6 points last game. I imagine he scores more today, but also this is just a good matchup for offensive rebound tip-ins and things of that nature. You can just use and abuse Nick Richards. So I really think this is a good spot to back Jonas Valanciunas. Get it down to him in the post. I really think he's got a good chance at going over 22.5 points plus rebounds. Obviously doesn't play a ton of minutes, but I don't think a lot of minutes is needed here. So my 4 picks today, Jonas Valanciunas over in points plus rebounds. We also got Fred VanVleet's over in points. Fred, don't make me regret that. Markkanen's under in points, and Mitchell's under in PRAs. That's a 4-0 sweep. Boom. Let's have a wonderful day. A hot streak is starting. Hopefully you hop on. If you've been, not tailing the picks the last few days, hey, maybe you want to tail today, because I feel real confident on these 4 picks. Let's dominate. Have a 4-0 day. And I'll see you guys back on Thursday for some more picks. Have a wonderful day. No probably added plays today, but if I do add one, it's in the pinned comment. You guys have a great day. There will be a new second channel video for all the OGs that are watching this video this late. When it is live, it'll be me going to the Bulls game. Really cool game. It'll be linked on the screen. You guys have a wonderful day. See you guys in the next one. Peace.